Hey traders! In this video, I'm going to do something different today. I want to go over a video that Kevin O'Leary just put up today, actually just recently. Oh, not Kevin O'Leary, it was actually from Yahoo Finance. And he talks about the stimulus packages and what's likely to happen. Is it going to cause inflation? What's the stimulus package? And all that sort of stuff. And also, I'm going to import what I think the direct reflect of what Kevin is saying here is going to be on stocks and also gold and probably everything that I see when it comes to the markets itself, commodities, stocks, and so on and so forth. And what I believe is going to happen to those over the next, say, 12 months because of this next massive stimulus package. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader.
Resolution for President Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus package by a vote of 51 to 50. Vice President Kamala Harris had to cast the tie-breaking vote there. Earlier today, President Biden spoke from the White House about that package.
I've met with Republicans. There's some really fine people who want to get something done, but they're just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go. I'm not cutting the size of the checks. They're going to be $1,400, period. That's what the American people were promised.
All right, joining us again is Kevin O'Leary.
So firstly, I want to start off by, before we get into the good old Kevin O'Leary, I want to start off by saying this, okay, is that if we look at our lives, if we do something and we get a result, if we do the same thing, we're probably likely to get the same result, right? So hear me out. What happened to the stock market? What happened to the gold and silver market, just based on what I'm seeing here, when we got that massive stimulus package back in March last year? What happened to it, right? Everything just took off, right? Everything just absolutely just took off in the markets. Gold had a little bit of a pullback as well too. So gold had a bit of a pullback, so did the stock market, and so did stocks when it comes to the cough situation that happened last year. But when the stimulus packages were released into people's, right, just sending checks out to everyone, guess what happened? Robinhooders came out of the woodworks. And not only that, but everything started to boom massively. So I want you to think about the opportunities here, because there are opportunities if we keep our eyes open to, okay, what did well last time? What did well last time? The stimulus package the checks were delivered, is probably likely to do well again, regardless of how overvalued or how high things are right now in some of the industries. So, and I'll talk more about what industries I believe are going to benefit from this most when it comes to your investments into the market. So let's get more into this here when it comes to Kevin O'Leary.
Chairman of O-Shares ETFs, Mr. Wonderful himself. So you've been, I'm sure, tracking all the news coming out of the Senate today, Kevin. As part of that package, as it stands right now, those stimulus checks would not be extended to illegal immigrants. It's been a sticking point, especially for some Democrats. What are your thoughts on that?
I actually think we're at a point now where we have to be careful. We're almost putting too much stimulus into the market and into the economy. You've got to remember there's still $1 trillion from the first package still unspent. So we're really talking about $3.9 trillion that are going into this market, and at a time when the economy is actually quite strong. So the risk here is that you cause inflation when you didn't need to. In terms of the structure and the metrics of the deal, I don't know why we're sending checks to people that are already employed. That makes no sense to me. The deal should be this. If you are displaced by the pandemic, we will send you a check because you're unemployed. I don't want to see any more PPP. I personally feel, having lived through that and watched what happened to it, that 50% of it was wasted. And I have a lot of companies that took it that'll go out of business no matter how many PPPs they get, because consumer preferences have changed and they're never going to come back. That's the nature of the digitized economy. America 2.0 is emerging. So I wouldn't put money into that either. No more bailouts for airlines. We have too many airlines in terms of the capacity, because business spending will be down somewhere between 20 and 25% for years to come. Why would you fly somewhere when you can do a Zoom meeting instead? And so that's going to be a very long time before people waste their time and money flying around in business entertainment. I know I've slashed my budgets for 2021 in my private company portfolio from 20 to 50%, and it's going straight to the bottom line. I have zero interest in increasing those costs when I don't need to. So why bail them out? Let a couple of them go bankrupt. Just give unemployment checks to the employees. They're highly trained. They'll find new jobs in the digital economy. And airlines are very good at going bankrupt. They do it every 10 years. So it's just fine. Stop spending money there.
What about the restaurant industry? Leisure and hospitality, really struggling here.
The restaurant industry will survive on its own. Restaurants grow like mushrooms as soon as we've got this pandemic under control. So a better way to spend on restaurants would be to spend more money on the logistics of getting the vaccine out. Because I can guarantee you when people feel safe again, they will go to restaurants. And believe me, they'll pop right out, just like they've always done for 200 years. It's an industry that bounces back very, very quickly. The only two areas I would invest in if I had my druthers would be, even if you kept it at 1.9 billion, just spend it on vaccine logistics, getting it into people's arms, and let's take care of unemployed people. Nothing else. Otherwise, you risk horrific inflation. We just don't need this much stimulus. It's going really overboard.
All right, so I want to cover a few things here that Kevin's actually talking about, and I want you to look behind the scenes, look between the lines of what he's saying here, of what's coming ahead. This is something that I have failed to do many times when listening to people, really successful people like Kevin O'Leary, who invest in the markets all the time, and I've seen Paul Tudor Jones, Ray Dalio, and so on and so forth. So listen to what he's saying here. Firstly, is that this massive stimulus package is probably likely. He said it's probably likely to cause inflation, and the reason why, right, is that all this bunch of money is going to come straight into the system. It's going to push up prices. So you're going to see you're probably likely to see big inflation happen. Now, inflation is going to cause what to rise when your investments? Commodities, silver, gold, and all these other markets out there. So inflation is likely to pick up. The velocity of money, therefore, is likely to pick up. That's going to cause inflation to pick up. And with all this currency, all this money in the system, it's likely to push up. So commodities, we're likely to go through a commodity boom. And that's also going to be effect on silver and gold. So people that are worried about silver and gold, I believe over the next couple of years, we're going to see one of the greatest booms we've ever seen when it comes to miners and the metals, especially some of like the gold junior miner stocks, I believe. And also the silver mining stocks, but the main one there that I'm seeing on a chart technical basis, if you've been watching me for the last few months, is the GDXJ. Watch out for that chart for over the next couple of years, because I believe we're likely to see a hockey stick move to the upside. Right now, for the last 6-7 months, it's been doing nothing but slowly dwindling down. But I really see massive opportunity. Like if you think the hockey stick was big in Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that, wait till you see what the hockey stick what I see is likely to happen in the gold junior miner stocks. Now I don't know when that's going to happen. That could be 2022 when we get that hockey stick action. Okay. Now, firstly, let's actually move that to the side. So now commodities are likely to boom, but investing opportunities, guys. Don't go buy commodities today and then next week they go down. Oh yeah, for the next week or two or month they go down. Like, oh, this is not the right thing. No, it's an overall process, right? We don't know when that inflation is really going to kick in to really start to push these commodities higher. In fact, if you start to look at things like corn, soybeans, wheat, they have already, for the last couple of months, made massive moves to the upside. So I believe we've already started that upward trend when it comes to some of the commodity prices. Even silver and gold, right? Look what happened with gold, even silver. We've already made some massive moves up. We've just been doing nothing for the last 6 months or so. So let's actually move that to the side. Now listen to what he said. Retail sector always bounce backs like mushrooms. So let's actually think about this from an investing point of view here. If the retail sector is likely to bounce back like mushrooms, and we know we're not going to be in this pandemic forever, okay? This situation we're in right now is going to pass, just like everything in life, just like in everything in life, right? When something really good happens in life, it doesn't last forever. And if something really bad in life, nothing lasts forever, right? We generally go through these cycles. So if we're looking at what he's saying here, and we can see all this stimulus package that is actually going out into the marketplace, and it's going out into, and that's going to cause inflation, and it's going to cause a lot of people to start to go out to restaurants and so on and so forth, the retail sector. Then maybe, just maybe, in the retail sector, if you do your homework, there might be some really good investing opportunities. So maybe Now the stock market generally looks 6 months ahead. So if we're going to be through this whole pandemic situation this year again, but maybe 2022 we're going to really start to come out of it and start to really take off again, then maybe the second half of this year is going to be the booming stock market in the retail sector. Why? Because the stock market generally looks about 3 to 6 months ahead. So the last sort of maybe the last 2 quarters of this year, maybe we're going to start to see some really start a booming in the retail sector stocks, because they're starting to say, next year we're likely to start to see some really big moves. So as you can see, there's 2 different opportunities here if we keep an eye open.
Well, what about, some of these restaurant owners hearing your words are thinking, I don't have time is of the essence, and I don't have the time to wait for the vaccine to get here and for people to feel comfortable to come to my restaurant. What do you say to them?
Let's take care of the employees of the restaurants, the waiters, the people that do the work. Let's give them the unemployment checks. I don't want to bail out every owner of every business. Why? That's not how the markets work. I have lots of food services businesses that are going bankrupt right now. And the ones that are going to survive will be the ones that should come back because they're still relevant. Now, if I had a restaurant near or close to a B-grade mall that's being shut down, that's probably not going to work. Or if I'm providing food services to movie theaters, probably not going to work, because consumers' preferences have changed. I think we're going to end up with probably only 500 malls left in America. Look at Amazon's numbers. They grew by over $100 billion in just 90 days in sales. They were actually $125 billion. You think people want to go back to a B-grade mall? I don't think so. They want to order their stuff and have it delivered to their homes. That's my whole concept of investing now, is to figure out where this digital pivot's occurring. I'd like to take care of everybody that works in a restaurant that's unemployed. I do not want to bail out every restaurant owner. I'm sorry.
All right. To your point, if some people get checks here, even though they do have jobs, because the way this is structured right now, they would be getting those checks. If they're amongst the lucky
does that even make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? Why? Why are we doing that?
Right. I mean, that's what they're debating right now in Congress. But if that were to happen...
Well, I hope so. I hope so, because somebody should put up their hand and say, wait a minute, what do we need to give money to in an emerging economy that's coming out of this mess? When people are employed, let's take care of the unemployed people. Let's give the unemployed people more money. They're the ones that are really hurting, not people sitting at home with jobs. That seems ridiculous to me.
You have to wonder even if that money is going to come back into the economy, right? Because maybe people will sit on that money. Maybe people are going to save that money and not inject it and spark the economic recovery. So what would your advice be to somebody who gets that check and maybe doesn't need to pay the rent or the utility bill with it? What should they do with that check?
They should send it back to the government, but they're not going to do that. I mean, that's what's so crazy about this. When you have a blunt instrument like a $1.9 trillion, stimulus package, probably 30% of it is completely wasted. I mean, there's no test in terms of whether somebody should get that check or not. We're just sending everybody free money from a helicopter. That's not a great idea. That's not the best way to do this. When you've got tens of millions of people that have no jobs, they're the ones we should be taking care of. And certainly ask anybody that wants a vaccine right now if they would like to see more money spent on logistics to provide that vaccine. The whole country is waiting to get vaccinated, at least the ones that want the vaccine, and we can't do it. And we're sending checks to people that already have jobs in the meantime. It just seems crazy. It's nonsensical.
All right, listen.
So I'll just pause it there and I'll finish up there with what Kevin's saying there. My 2 cents on that is that I just hope that this recklessness, or I hope that it doesn't get to where I think it's likely to go to, where this recklessness of what the government is doing in America is going to start to cause massive tax hikes. And I just hope for people over in America that live there, that the tax hikes that Biden wants to do isn't just the start. I hope it's the end. You know what I mean? So for me, I've got a really funny feeling that down the line we're going to try to pay the piper with all this deficits that's been created right now, and that therefore I believe is going to be restructuring / more tax hikes. Not just only the one that's likely to come moving forward, but more tax hikes. So just a recap of what I'm seeing here with what Kevin's saying, guys, for you, is that firstly, we're likely to see inflation because of this recklessness, helicopter money that is starting to, or has been happening for the last 12 months. Secondly, I want to point out that what actually happened last time to the stock market is probably likely to happen again. So those that actually did well last time are probably likely to do well again. You're probably likely to see a massive boom in the stock market again. Even though things are really, really high, we're probably likely to see what we call that shoot to the moon, or that hockey stick to the upside. And I believe not only that, but the commodity side of things and also silver and gold are going to see a massive boom coming out of this year as well too. We may see a bit of a shake and bake more for the next maybe couple of weeks, but the shake and bake will... the shake and bake is probably likely to see some more movement to the upside, and I don't know how that's going to affect Bitcoin and Ethereum. It may or may not see move hockey sticks to the upside when it comes to those markets. And then on the other side of that is that maybe the last 2 quarters of this year, say from June onwards, we may start to see a retail sector stock market boom. Because maybe 2020 I believe 2022 is going to be the year we start to get back to a bit of a new normal, not the same, but the new normal, where we start to go to restaurants, we start to go to live events again, and things like that start to pick up. So anyway, guys, that's what I believe. That's what I see. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what stocks you believe are likely to do well out of this package. Are you invested in silver and gold, and how are you prepared for it? For me personally, guys, I am invested in gold. I'm invested in silver, some silver stock. I also do a lot of trading opportunities as well too. I'm also invested in one stock right now, long term. And then there's a few other things that I'll be looking at as well too. I'm also very heavily invested in the gold junior minor stocks, actually the GDXJ to be particular, because I've actually just invested in that for long term, because I see over the next couple of years, like I've talked about in today's video, that the next couple of years is probably likely to see a massive boom on the commodity side, which we've already started to see a massive move for the last couple of months on the commodity side. And I believe the gold juniors, the silver juniors, silver gold, all those sectors, we're going to see some crazy moves over this, say, next 5 years. We just don't know when that's likely to start. But the whole point that I believe is that if you're positioned in the gold juniors, some commodities, silver, gold, stuff like that, then you don't know when it's going to start, but all you know is that you're in it and you're waiting for it to happen. But when it does happen, you know you're going to benefit from that. Instead of trying to wait for that, then you know you're likely to see it. That's what I believe in, guys. I could be wrong, but let me know what you think in the chat box below, and I'll talk to you real soon. Hey traders, John Howell here. Thanks for watching my video. For a limited time only, I am giving away free access to my brand new trading course. I've put all my most powerful systems, strategies, and trading techniques that I've learned over the last 15 years and put it in this course, and I'm giving it away for free for a limited time. See, in this brand new Go to the Markets by the Board trading course, and you can get it when you go to johnsfreegift.com, you're going to learn, firstly, you're going to get access to a brand new training course for 90 minutes, and you're going to learn all the details step by step to my #1 trading system with over a 90% success rate that works on any market and any time frame. You're also going to learn 3 powerful chart reading and trading techniques. You're also going to learn 2 more powerful trading systems, and also you're going to learn 7-figure trading secrets, mindset techniques, and so much more. There's top 13 mistakes you're going to learn, the 10K per month formula, and so much more. No, this is not a get rich quick scheme, but if you are struggling with your trading right now and you need help, then for a limited time, you can get free access to this. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now, or click on the very first thing in the description, because for a limited time, I'm giving away. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now and start getting access to this full complete trading course, plus also the free training with my #1 trading system with over 90% success rate. Go do that right now, and I'll see you on the next page.